Turning now to another big story that we are following, the developments in the deadly police shooting of an unarmed black man in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Outrage spreading across the country. Protesters, celebrities, people on social media all speaking out after the shooting of Terrence Crutcher, who had his hands up before he was shot by police. And now for the first time, we are hearing the officer's version of what happened. NBC's Janet Shamlian has more of that.
Protests in Tulsa as a wave of outrage grows this morning over the death of Terrence Crutcher.
Why is he being treated like a criminal when he's done nothing wrong?
Videos of the unarmed father of four with his hands in the air being shot by Officer Betty Shelby stirring anger. From the campaign trail, where Hillary Clinton tweeted, "This should be intolerable." And basketball player Dwayne Wade posting, "We must show our strength as a black community more." Crutcher was tasered by one officer, then shot by another. For more than 2 minutes, no one goes to check on him. He died later at the hospital.
Just pure devastation.
His twin sister, Tiffany.
The excessive force and all of that is just uncalled for when someone's hands are up, and that's what happened.
This morning, Officer Betty Shelby's side of the story from her attorney.
And she became concerned about him reaching for his left pocket, despite being commanded not to.
According to a report in the Tulsa World, citing the lead investigator on the case, Crutcher's family says even if that is true, it's no justification for deadly force.
This was an unjustified killing. The position of the family is resolute on this matter.
Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Tulsa.
And joining me now is Terrence Crutcher's twin sister, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, and her attorneys, Benjamin Crump and Demario Solomon Simmons. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Crutcher, let me start with, I want to play part of it. I know it is, first of all, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Okay?
Thank you so much.
I do want to play a little bit of the actual video from when your brother was shot. I know it's difficult for you to watch, but there's a part of this that has drawn great concern. And let me play that sound from the police officer overhead.
I've got a feeling that's about to happen.
That looks like a bad dude, too, to be honest with you.
That looks like a bad dude, too. Your brother was unarmed. His hands are high. What do you hear when you hear that comment?
You know, I'm angered. You know, I've dealt with the whirlwind of emotions over the last few days, pain, hurt, confusion, but when I hear that comment, I get angry because an officer of the law who's paid to protect and serve prejudged my brother, prejudged him. He didn't have a chance to live, and it's just not right. And I have friends, many friends, who wear the blue, who wear the badge, who've reached out and said, that's not a representation of us at all, and we stand with you. But I'm just angry.
The officer's attorney says that she was concerned about him reaching for his left pocket. Your response to that, based on what we've seen in that video, which did not show that?
You know, the video is so clear-cut. His hands was in the air.
The window was
up. He was unarmed. He was moving slow. He was not a threat. He was not a fleeing felon. They had helicopters, multiple cops. They treated him like he was a New York bomber. And the New York bomber is alive right now. He's alive, but my brother is dead, who didn't commit a crime. That bad dude was in school. That bad dude is a father. Now, my heart aches for my nieces and nephew. My nephew just 2 days ago was looking for his daddy. Where's daddy?
And we make the comparison with the New York bomber. Many people have made this, saying the bomber who was arrested yesterday had a weapon. He was firing on police, and yet deadly force was not used in that incident. But with your brother who was unarmed, that is what you're pointing out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not only that, Tamron. After he was tased, after he was shot, he laid there. No one, I'm talking about officers who are supposed to protect and serve, no one went to check on my brother. He laid there for at least 2 minutes, bleeding. They didn't check to see if they could preserve his life. They didn't check for a pulse. And then I just heard that he later died at the hospital. That's not true. He died there on the scene, left for dead. And you can't tell me that people with hearts, they can't feel our pain.
Attorney Crump, obviously authorities have said that there's a vial of PCP. The toxicology has not come back. The first time I heard that, I thought of a case that you became part of our household conversation on this, Trayvon. It became about, did he have marijuana in his system? It seems in all of these, there's a deeper background check into whether Mr. Crutcher had a criminal past or whether he had drugs, as opposed to this officer whose concern was enough to result in deadly force.
Cameron, when you look at that video, you don't have to go any further. Anybody who tries to bring anything out besides what we see in that video with our own eyes are trying to blame the victim and say that Terrence Crutcher was the cause for his own death, when there is no intimate threat there to allow her to use excessive lethal force. They had 3 other officers there that did not shoot. And so we know with our own eyes that this was an unjustified killing.
And when you hear, though, the attorney say she was concerned, he didn't say she was afraid for her life or that she felt that her life was in danger. And when you're a police officer, I imagine every day you walk out concerned. That is a part of the job. But does lethal force, is that a response to concern?
And you hit the point there, because that is part of a bigger pattern in all over America. Jonathan Farrell in Charlotte, who broke down, needed help. The police shot and killed him. Corey Jones, the church drummer on the side of the street in Palm Beach, Florida, broke down, they shot him. What he needed was a helping hand, and they gave him a bullet in the lungs. And that's not what anybody says a police officer is supposed to do when you're in distress. What is it about these men of color who need the help as any other American citizen, get treated like a criminal and a suspect?
What then happens next here with this investigation and the legal process?
Well, first of all, we want to make sure that Terrence is not vilified. As the police told me the first time I met with the police chief, that Terrence did not cause this.
And that is what the police chief said to you?
To me and the mayor, that Terrence did not cause this. The police, Terrence was not a suspect of any crime. The police had no idea who Terrence was, and anything that Terrence did not cause him to be shot, because as we see the video, it's very, very clear. The video clearly shows he had no weapon. His hands is in the air. He's not moving quickly. He's not causing any danger to our officers. And so what we want to see next is obviously appropriate charges and the vigorous prosecution in this case. We want to make sure that this family, particularly these 4 kids, are not a part of a prolonged, protracted litigation.
And Dr. Crutcher, the officer involved in this, Officer Shelby's attorney, said that she is upset over the incident. She knows somebody that has been lost. You've lost a family member. She feels badly for the situation, but she did it in this interview. She said she was afraid for her life later, is what her attorney is saying. With that said, what's been taken from your family?
My twin brother. We were born 3 minutes apart. We just celebrated our 40th birthday a month ago, August 16th. And one of our last extensive conversations was talking about our next 40 years and our goals and our dreams and our aspirations. And he told me that, hey, I'm getting ready to start school this fall, music appreciation. He loved to sing. He loved gospel music. And he was excited, and he told me, and I have the text message that I'll keep forever, that God is going to get the glory out of my life, and I'm going to make you all proud. And now we'll never get that chance. We'll never get that chance. But I do believe that good will come out of this. Good will come out of this. And I believe that eyes are being opened. I have so much support coming in from all around the world, people with different backgrounds, different cultures, different ethnic groups, different races, saying how much they support us, they stand with us. It was senseless. And so I hope that his life won't be in vain, and that the chain breaks here with this case, and that this will never happen again. And then you have Charlotte that just took place the next day. But something has to happen, and I'm just calling on the leadership of Tulsa, Oklahoma, to do what's right, and the national leadership to revamp systems, protocol, whatever we have to do, trainings. We need those systems in place, because obviously there's an issue that needs to be resolved. And that's what I'm praying for. And right now, my #1 concern is that Officer Shelby be prosecuted at the highest extent of the law. They should be held to the same standards as you or I if, you know, a crime is committed. And that's all we want. We want justice. And then if we get that justice, then we can have our peace.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. Attorneys, thank you as well. We'll continue to follow the latest developments on this investigation out of Tulsa, and we'll be right back.